Once upon a time, there was a powerful Chinese dynasty known as the Shang Dynasty. They were well known for their inventions. It was almost like they made hundreds of inventions every single day. They were also into the practice of hashe wushu, which is now modern day chemistry. One day, a practicer of hashe wushu by the name of Xiao accidentally created a strange and seemingly insignificant black powder. The powder was a failed attempt to produce a potion of immortality. Xiao, upon discovering this strange item, starts experimenting on it to see what it does. First, he dips it into some water to see if it would be a good dye. It didn't necessarily act as a very good dye. It seemed to only dirty the water and nothing else. He then tried to put it on a rough surface and started rubbing it against said surface to see if it could sand it. Again, it didn't work very well, and he moved on to the next experiment where he tried to melt the powder in a furnace in an attempt to make it into a brand new item. However, as the powder was being melted in the furnace, Xiao suddenly hears an indescribably loud bang come from inside the furnace. Out of confusion, Xiao opens the furnace to only find some black soot and the powder gone. It was then he realized that the powder had some explosive properties and the many things it could potentially be used for. After the revolutionary discovery, he went to the emperor to present the new invention. And like Xiao, saw what it could be utilized for. The emperor and the staff in the castle were amazed by the new innovation, and like Xiao, saw what it could be utilized for. Rumor immediately spread to the other dynasties about this new discovery. And while many dynasties congratulated the Shang dynasty and even asked for the recipe to this strange new black powder, there was one dynasty that wanted it all. This dynasty was known as the Han Dynasty. The Han Dynasty is the second most powerful dynasty in China. Its emperor was known as a very power-hungry, greedy, and ruthless man. And when he heard of this new black powder, he wanted to have it all for himself. The greedy emperor called this strategist to start planning an attack on the Shang Dynasty to steal the now famous black powder. And its creator, Xiao Shimizu. After a few months of careful planning and spying on the rival dynasty, the strategist came up with the genius idea of starting a fight at the gates of the Shang Dynasty. While two teams sneak up on the castle at opposite sides where the black powder and Xiao are supposed to be. Now, the emperor of the Han Dynasty just had to decide when to start the attack. While thinking, he decided that it would be best to attack when the Shang would least expect it. So he decided to attack during a holiday like the Moon, Qingming, or Lantern festivals. He decided to attack when the Moon Festival was celebrated because he wanted to let his troops prepare for the attack. Meanwhile, back in the Shang Dynasty, the military was the biggest buyer of the black powder. Due to its anti-personnel capabilities. They used some special non-explosive black powder. They used some special non-explosive black powder that was used as fuel to propel arrows towards the enemy. There were also some iron weights attached to the back end of the arrow, so that it would point upwards, giving it some more potential energy and therefore far more power when hitting its final destination, the enemy. Other weapons were also designed like some resembling a modern-day hand grenade, a cannon, and even a special cannon to launch the grenade. All that was needed now was a real target to test these new weapons on. A couple months had gone by until the Moon Festival came up. The Han Dynasty troops marched to the China Dynasty's border, where they proceeded to march towards the capital, protected by towering stone walls. The Han Dynasty troops were merciless, eliminating anyone who got in their way of reaching the main capital walls. Upon reaching the capital, the general loudly yelled, "Attack!" Suddenly, a volley of arrows rose over the walls of the Shang Dynasty and rained upon its unsuspecting inhabitants. Action. Not long after, the gates of the now quiet town break open with seemingly endless waves of Han Dynasty soldiers marching through, killing off the remaining survivors. The Han Dynasty soldiers then marched through the capital, wreaking havoc on their surroundings. However, this only continued to happen for a couple of minutes. A squad of black powder equipped soldiers of the Shang Dynasty abruptly appear almost out of nowhere. The battle is on, thought one of the Han Dynasty soldiers, right before getting blown away by an explosive sent by one of the Shang Dynasty soldiers. The Shang Dynasty soldiers then started rampaging at the Han Dynasty troops in response to the death and havoc they have caused. The battle raged on as the two sides tirelessly fought against each other. As the battle rages, the two teams of black powder obtainers sneak up on opposite sides of the castle. Everything is going according to plan. The strategist thinks to himself, until he hears two subtle explosions come from the castle and realizes that both of the obtainer teams have been discovered. Now, not only is there a rampaging battle at the capital gates, but also at the castle. In the midst of a fight, the obtainer team that was supposed to retrieve Xiao decides to retreat due to seeing no sign of him at all, being low on men, and because of the overwhelming resistance of the castle guards. Unfortunately for this team, however, during their escape, they were captured by some other castle guards and sent to the dungeons. The other team dedicated to obtaining the gunpowder was successful in doing so, but at the cost of only one person remaining. That one person tried to make an escape with a bag of gunpowder in his hand. While making his escape, however, he ran into one of the Shang Dynasty soldiers that was fighting against the Han Dynasty troops with the gunpowder weaponry and was chased down by the Shang soldier. He was able to get away. He was able to eventually get away. However, and he handed the gunpowder to his commander, waiting for him right outside the now destroyed gate. They then started to retreat with the remaining soldiers, obtaining a team member, the strategists, commanders, and generals. By this time, however, the Shang Dynasty soldiers have now already defeated their adversaries and have spotted the Han combatants escaping with the gunpowder. The Shang soldiers then started to aim their cannons at the Hans. And were able to end up capturing or terminating them. Looking at the aftermath, the Shang troops are glad that the black powder and Xiao, who was luckily hiding in his home, are secure, and that the destruction did not escalate. The Shang Dynasty took a while to recover from the event, and the event eventually became a legend, only to be known as a story of the Black Powder.